Hello, good evening, welcome back. You've just watched the Jackocar there, which was very entertaining indeed. Normal service has resumed now though, and we are here in Singapore for Season 13's Championship 5. It always comes around very quick every season. We can't believe we're here 13 seasons, it just goes by like that. So, round 17, 5 drivers still in it with a shout. Whoever finishes the highest of the 5 wins the title. You all know this by now. And it's essentially a winner-takes-all situation. So this should be very exciting. Singapore, a track where we've seen all sorts of chaos. The second race in Jackocar history went to pot, right where Leroy Hasselager is, as he came round turn 8. Everyone came round turn 8 and saw an invisible barrier. So literally anything can happen here. And myself, Owen Wyatt, and Mr. Jack Ricketts will take you through what should be a very exciting evening.
Thank you, Owen. Hello, good evening, everybody. As Owen says, it comes around so quick. This is our 13th Cup Series Championship 5, and of course, if you include the 8 we had with Kia, this is number 21. And what's important about the 20 that have come before that, we have never had a repeat champion. Tony Kirkpatrick has every chance of breaking that this evening. He's on 1 star, which means if he gets his another one tonight, it'd be 2 stars, 2 championships, and of course a back-to-back champion, which we don't want. The others involved: Decker Cornley, Johannes Mellers, Ben Shaw, and Arnaud de Grief. Everyone's favourite coming into it, but it's Singapore, it's Jackocar, and it's a Championship 5 under the lights, and we love it.
I've got to say, it's a very difficult track to qualify on as well, so we are potentially in for a very exciting session here. What's going to happen is that we're going to see the other 13 drivers all come out first. Well, it should be 14. We might get one more in later on, but we're only on 18 drivers at the minute. It should be 19. But we'll see all the other drivers come out and set their lap times first, and then with 5 minutes and 45 seconds left on the clock, approximately, we will see Decker Cornley come out, and he'll be followed by Ben Shaw, Tony Kirkpatrick, Johannes Mellers, and Arnaud de Grief, and they will set their qualifying times. We've seen a lot of dramas in qualifying this season, and on a track like this, where it's not exactly Monaco-esque, but it's not the easiest place to overtake in the world. You do not want to be starting towards the back, so it'll be a vital set of qualifying laps, and there's so many places for it to go wrong. We're watching Leroy at the moment, having a relatively clean lap actually, and to be fair, he's had a small sort of upturn in pace recently. I think he'll be looking forward to the F1 26 DLC when it comes out, and maybe give himself a fresh start. That is hopefully what we'll be doing next season on, but we still have heard nothing from Codemasters in relation to when that's coming out. I don't really blame them because, well, the F1 drivers, the F1 team, no one knows how the new rules work really, so how a Codemaster meant to be a game. So I think Leroy will be looking at any excuse to sort of reset himself, because he used to be a regular factor, but this season I think he'll be the first to admit he's not had the best run at it, but it's been a clean lap here, and he'll cross the line to set the early pace, a 1 minute 30.7.
Yeah, Leroy Hasselager, of course, who has been a part of 2 Championship 5s before, coming in Season 7 and Season 11. Johannes Mellers, and Tony Kirkpatrick also in their second C5s this evening. Quick start for you, Owen. There's going to be a few of these throughout the evening, I'm sure, but do you want another one?
Go for it.
Of course, I'm only trying to get out of the way now, so I don't forget it later on. Decker Cornley, he is the 22nd driver in the Cup Series to partake in a Championship 5. He is the 8th, or he is 8th in a list of 8, of drivers who have started 1 Championship 5 and never been to another one since. The only one of those 7 drivers has actually won a championship, and who was that?
My mind's gone blank. That's a rarity. I don't know.
It's a good one, isn't it?
Why do I not?
You'll kick yourself if I tell you it's Pete Knighton. Some might say one season wonder.
I should know that. That's poor from me, that.
But yeah, Deck joins the list with Pete, Thomas Stulens, Mike Calspawn, Jordan Lane, Camo Babo, Jana Laxon, and Robin Border.
Yeah, what is Pete doing on that list? I mean, that's bizarre, isn't it?
Isn't it? Pete, in fact, just coming out the pit lane now.
Yes.
So yeah, there's one of many stats I'm sure we'll reel off this evening. Jordan Lane, by the way, goes P1 whilst we was talking there.
Yes, and we saw him running the American colours. That's in relation to Sheffield Wednesday's takeover by the Americans. So we're used to seeing him running Sheffield Wednesday colours anyway, but there's only a bit of green on there, but he's swapped the green out for red. Looks very nice, has to be said. And this could be the last time we see a lot of these drivers in what you'd call their signature colours. I mean, we're watching Mike Keltborn here coming around the final corner, and he's running purple. He's run purple for a good while now. But next season, all the drivers will basically be given a sponsor, and they've got to design their livery around that. And we could well see a lot of drivers, identities changing in future seasons, which should be interesting. What are your thoughts on that?
It is people like Mike Kelterborn who I actually worry for, because we've become so used to seeing him in, well, as you look now, purple, and it's been a staple of his throughout the years. When he does run another colour, we've seen blacks and whites out of him before. It's odd. So, Mike is going to be one of those drivers hoping for a specific colour, and that's purple for him respectively. It's not an awful idea. It kind of reminds me like an old school Jackocar rule, where you had to decorate your car. But from next season, they're going to have to decorate their cars based around a sponsor. So I don't hate it. I think it's more bringing back the Jackocar roots. And, I'm all for it. What can I say? And it makes the drivers, it gets them to be creative. And there's colour on the grid.
Now, I'm watching Sullivan Lewis. I don't know if you've noticed, but he's been in the wall 3 or 4 times in this qualifying session. He's not going to complete the lap. He's been all over the show. Early mind games, I think his interests tonight are in helping Decker Cornley and helping probably Ben Shaw, drivers like that. But he's very much put himself at the back of the grid. And for a driver that's been so good this season, and very good in the Aston Martin simulator, as we saw earlier on, I mean, feels very uncharacteristic to see him making that many mistakes. So I wonder what his plan is for the race. I'm sure he's not done that all by accident, surely. He can't be that bad at this track.
I don't think so. Sullivan Lewis, actually, one of those drivers who has never been to a Cup Series Championship 5. He did win it on his day out in the Kia Series Season 7. And of course he was knocked off his perch a season later by Ben Harrett. So a lot of these drivers with the Championship 5 experience, and they know what it means to be involved and not involved. And a lot of them, as you say, Owen, they have their, let's say your friends are where you find them. And Sullivan Lewis would be a key man in trying to help Ben Shaw towards Championship number 2, as we see Michael Okeke join the lobby. I don't think he's that bad at the game, but there'll be some sort of plan involved, and especially being a Team Speed member, there's a plan involved.
So here is another Team Speed member, and Pete Knighton. Of course, the Season 1 champion looks like he's on a decent lap, but it's not quicker than Jamie Griffiths, who's running in their black and gold livery tonight. And obviously Jamie was very close to being part of this Championship 5. I'm sure he'd love to sort of prove a point and qualify high and finish high, maybe cause a little bit of chaos himself. Obviously it all came down to the last lap in Bahrain last time out, and Jake O'Sullivan got involved, and it was all a mess into turn 1, into turn 3 and 4. It was just a bit of a mess, really, and Jamie probably rightly felt like he should have been in this race because he was brilliant all day, but that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. And he'll be hoping to finish the season on a high, a season that he showed a lot of potential in, I think. But top at the moment, not actually seen too many laps on the board yet. We're already more than half through the session. We're just 2 minutes away from seeing Decker Cornley out onto the track. Now, I want to quickly check. Who's who? Is Casper? Is Gareth? Last week they decided it'd be a great idea to swap their names around. I think Casper is Casper this time, isn't it? I don't think they want to mess about with this on a championship night.
Check the qualifying list, because one's on the outlap and one's still in the pits, so surely that should tell us, unless they're in the same group.
Good point.
And by the way, just to break your heart, Owen, Decker Cornley, despite making his way through all the turmoil and getting here to the Championship 5, he does have a qualifying ban.
Oh. Oh, does he? Oh, well, that's a bit of a shame.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I guess he did move on. He did move on to braking, to be fair, into turn 1. But that does hurt him. I don't actually see Gareth's name anywhere on the qualifying list. Do you?
You're going to make me look for it now, aren't you?
Yeah, because I can't see it. I see Casper's name on there. What? Have I gone... Oh, he's on... Ignore me. He's on the next section. Right, it's fine. No, I'm
right
just
to ignore
blind. Yeah, good. Most people do it. It's the right thing to do these days.
Chris Waits is on a purple lap. And then after him... No, before him, sorry. There's going to be number 201. Barry Baldwin. That 86 car, the number, is going to be retired after this race. Your thoughts on that?
Well, it's the right call, isn't it? I think he's been a great servant to league racing in general. I thought it was a very nice tribute made for him as well in the Championship
Fantastic.
5.
That was really good.
In the Championship 5 build-up, I think it. The first thing you see on there is clips from F1 2015, 16. All the way back then, very very long time ago. So I think he's very much earned his retirement. And of course, running the Brawn GP colours. What else would he run? It's been by far his iconic look. And it'll be a shame to see him retire. Although I still suspect we may see him do the odd reserve appearance every now and then. I don't think he'll just disappear. But certainly in a full-time capacity, this is the end of a very, very, very long career. Was it like 886 races, something like that? I think he said he's done across his entire league racing career, which is just ludicrous. That's 2 Fernando Alonso careers, and then some.
Yeah, as he hits the wall on his in-lap,
we'll
ignore that. There's a very suspicious rumours I've heard that Barry is definitely going to be involved in the league in one way or another. But Shaw and Hall are saying nothing, and I don't quite know what they have up their sleeve. I think for racing he is done, but he can't just let it go. There'll be something for Mazza.
At the end of his tribute video, it did say "see you next season." So
exactly what I was alluding to.
So that could mean anything. And let me just correct myself: 836 races. That's how many Bazza will have done by the end of this evening. As we watch Casper, and we do believe this is Casper on his lap. We're still not really seeing much action. Deck is out there, but we think that's just qualifying ban, so he'll come straight back in afterwards.
Yeah.
Ben Shot is out there, and he's not on a qualifying ban. So when we see the end of Casper's lap, well, actually, let's give Deck his airtime now, because he is going to go round and do a lap. That's him doing a lap. No, he may well, pit at the end of it, but I think we ought to stick with this just in case he. I mean, has he circumvented this qualifying ban? Does he just not know?
Hold on, I am checking. Decker Cornley failed to provide footage. Drivers who do not reply will be penalised. Decision: qualifying ban. Car 71 has failed to provide footage after being reported for an incident he was involved in. The standard penalty for this infringement is a qualifying ban for the next race attended. This is the next race attended. This is Decker Cornley, and this
is a qualifying lap.
It is a qualifying lap, which I believe, if he completes this lap, I believe he'll then be in for a penalty post-race, which I think, back in my day, Owen, was a race, not a race ban, a disqualification from the race.
Yeah, so we'll need to get an idea, unless, I agree with what you're saying there, because, I mean, it does very much say on the report that he's bound to rights, he's got a qualifying ban. Unless they've given him as a suspended qualifying ban and says, right, just take that at the first race of next season or something like that. And don't ruin the Championship 5, but then what's the point of the penalty? So let's see if he pulls into the pits or if he finishes the lap. Right, this will have to go to the stewards then. And already a bit of controversy as Decker Cornley sets a qualifying time on a qualifying ban.
Well, let me fill you in with some more stats, by the way. Decker Cornley, he tweeted earlier today, if he somehow wins the championship, not the race, remember you don't have to win the race to be the champion, this will be his last ever esports appearance. First of all, wouldn't it be amazing if he won the championship? secondly, wouldn't it be an awful way to lose a championship in your final race?
I mean,
So,
yeah, it'd be a great way to win a Imagine if he wins the championship tonight and then calls his ground, and then Gareth Hall gets on the
again,
phone again and says, yeah, you shouldn't have been on a qualifying lap there. You've been disqualified and kicked out from the league. And that's the end. Because that seems very difficult. We'll ask the question.
well, the chat's already alive. Everyone's on top of this already.
Yes.
When I say everyone, that's me, Bazza, and Casper. And I saw you in another chat.
Yeah.
By the way, Ben Shaw goes P1, car number 28, does a 128. And Ben Shaw, there is no driver who has been to more Cup Series Championship 5s than this man. Tonight is number 8. But of the previous 7, he has only converted one of those. Of course, he has been close on a couple of occasions before. Miami rings a bell. Saudi Arabia rings another bell. He had his time in Las Vegas. Does he get a second star under the Singapore lights this evening as we move on, Owen, to, is it Johannes or Tony?
Tony.
It's Johannes. Tony, I believe. Thank you.
Yeah, Tony's just come through turn 14, which is where we saw a massive moment for Ben Shaw in his lap. He could have been closer to a 28.5 on that last lap. I mean, regardless, he'll still be starting in the top 4, so the mistake isn't a disaster, but we expect Tony to go a bit faster, and he does. He puts 7 tenths on him. That's a good lap time. We've seen plenty of well, frankly, disgusting laps from Tony, but that time to me looks beatable. So let's see how Johannes gets on. He's next up on the road, running all silver. It's been a while since we've seen him in the silver machine, and he crosses the line. Big moment in the last corner as well. He goes second fastest. That looked like a car right on the edge of grip. And, well, next up, last up, it's going to be Arnaud de Grief. Can he put this on pole position?
Arnaud de Grief, of course, who is competing in his 7th Championship 5 in the Cup Series. Of course, the 6 before, he's converted 1. And that 1 was 2 seasons ago. Of course, he was not able to race last season, otherwise he'd have given Tony a run for his money. But Australia, he had his time. We've across the continent and come to Singapore to give Arnaud another shot at a second title. What can he do with it? If he goes pole this evening, he will take the all-time pole record, and we have some more stats for you as well about Arnaud. He'll move on to 29. If Tony gets it, he'll move on to 19. He'll go clear of Casper, and he'll go 5th in the all-time poles list. But where does Arnaud de Grief put himself on Championship 5 night in Singapore? It's P1, a new pole record, and Arnaud de Grief has another shot from pole position.
And that is the first of, as you say, many records that could go in his favour tonight. Just before we talk about that, Jackocar will take a drive-through in the race. That's what Gareth has decided. So he's still in play. No post-race problems. So I'd say he's got away with one there. But, yeah, so for Arnaud, as you say, the pole record, he could also equal a fair few records. He could equal the most wins in a row in a season. That's 4. Or just in general, that's 4. He could equal most wins in a season. That's 7. And he could equal the all-time wins. What's that, 28? 28?
28, yeah. Jake O'Sullivan, 28. Arnaud de Grief, 27. Looking for 28.
And if he does all that, he'll obviously win the title. And if he can, achieve all that, it could well go down as the greatest Jackocar season of all time. Obviously, it's very premature to chat that, but that's sort of what's on the line here for Arnaud de Grief. And there have been rumblings that, like I say, this could be the last we see of him. So if he does plan on retirement anytime soon, what a way that would be to go out. But for now, he's got to focus on the next 31 laps. He's on pole ahead of Tony, Johannes and Ben Shaw. The top 4 in the playoffs have done the job here in qualifying.
Wow. And
there's the proof you needed that they were the right 4 to go through via that method. Jackocar from the chase, he did well to end up 8th there, but he will have to take a drive-through during the race. I mean, we say a drive-through, I mean, it's worse than that, actually. It's more a stop-go because he'll have to change tyres during that, and it won't count as a mandatory. So he'll have to be careful with his pit stops and remember that the first one was, not legal, because that could be another thing that could easily trip him up in this race.
The fortunate thing for Deck, looking at that 2-second gap off a pole position, is that it is a long lap here. So the early drive-through doesn't put you at risk of going a lap down like it would in places like Austria and Monaco. So he has that on side. He just needs a clean lap 1 and then hope for a safety car, stay in the race. That's all you've got to do. Because as you know, this championship is more than likely going to be decided on the final lap.
I've just realised he could just jump the start. I'm an idiot. He could just jump the start, and that gives him a drive-through. So you'll just take it as a real drive-through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. We all have our moments, Owen. This is the early signs of aging.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Deck's not happy about this. Naturally, he
should have read the report.
Yeah, he's very upset in the chat. He's questioning our league owners and asking, why did you give me a qualifying time? But everyone gets a qualifying time, regardless of whether you can set the lap or not. So
that's I can fill that one in for you. That's a legacy rule. Drivers have always been allowed to have their time, the time to go out, in order to ensure that their setup is saved. So the installation process, basically, I think it's an old thing from an old game. It's not so much of an issue now, but as it's a legacy thing, it stays there for safety reasons, peace of mind, if you will.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I've always wondered whether it's a real thing or not. I mean, but you always do it just to be sure. But I've never actually tested to see if it doesn't work. But it's better to be safe than sorry there. But Deck was reckless in that situation. But he gets away with it because he'll take a drive-through if we get any safety cars, puts them straight back on the pack, and then you can get into strategy and all the rest of it. Red flags are also very much a feature here. So anything can really happen for him. It's the longest race of the season, this by far. So he's got time to get himself into contention. And we await the formation lap. I can already see one car there. It looks like Chris Waits in the garage there wants to stick the hard compound tyres on. I guess we're going to see quite a lot of the hard compound tyres in this race. Let's see what our championship contenders are on. I can already see that Tony's on a set of mediums. Everyone else in the championship is on a set of softs. And in fact, it's Sully who put the hards on, and he's the only one to put the hards on. Gareth Hall, despite not setting a qualifying lap, ended up 16th on the grid. So, a bit of luck for him there. I think he was probably more concentrating on making sure that Deck's penalty was dealt with properly than going out for a lap. So we'll give him a bit of credit for that. But it's yes, it's near enough 50-50 split between drivers on softs and drivers on mediums/hards.
Yep, thank you, Owen. Obviously, Jack has never won a race in the Cup Series. I'm not saying that to make his evening any worse, but I have a stat for you. The other four, so Arnaud, Tony, Johannes and Ben Shaw. Johannes has 5 wins, Tony Kirkpatrick has 9, Ben Shaw 14 and Arnaud de Grief 27. That is a total of 55 wins between the 4 of them, which is a total of, it's a snippet shy of 25% of all Cup Series races all time. So there's a lot of talent in those opening 2 rows, and I dare say you don't have to win the race to be the champion. You just got to beat the drivers around you, to beat the drivers on the night. But I think only on 3 occasions, twice in Cup, once in Kia, have we never had the race winner is also the champion.
Yeah, and if it were going to happen any night as we watch Baza coming up to the front,
give him his moment.
If it was going to happen on any night where, the champion comes from a Championship 5, or the winner is a Championship 5 runner on track, this has been the most dominant season and the most top-heavy season in terms of the sort of best 7 or 8 drivers have won every race. There's been no outsiders, no real chance of outsiders. So I'd be very surprised if we see that stat change. But hey, look, anything can happen. It's a Championship 5, and people are basically going out there and just seeing what happens. And one of those drivers, I'm still expecting a lot of big things from Jimmy Griffiths. He's P6 on the grid. Sorry. He's had a great qualifying. He feels it should be him in the championship tonight. I'm sure he's going to make his case. And just show everyone, I'll be here next season. I think he's turned a corner on this game. And he's going to be a big factor for when the DLC comes out later on in the year. But for now, we've got 5 lights ahead of the drivers here in Singapore. And boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing for the championship. And it's a good start from Arnaud. as you'd expect on those soft compound tyres, and Jamie Griffiths is already having a look down towards turn 1. But the Championship 5 have all got off the grid. Deck has got his drive through, that's what he was expected to do, and he should take that at the end of this lap, assuming there's no incidents. And for his sake, he'll hope that it stays green so he can make that pit stop and then let the chaos begin afterwards. As we see a big movement there for Leroy Hasselager in the background out of turn 5. He escaped that with no problems, but the first little scare in this race already. And for Tony, I think at the minute his priority will be making sure that he doesn't get himself overtaken by Johannes or Ben Shaw here on the softer tyre.
Oh! Sorry, I was looking back. It was MK Bourne. Mike Kelterborn's gone flying into the right front tyre of Barry Baldwin. He almost took his entire car with him. Bazza gets away with just wing damage, but that was almost curtains for the man in his final start. Sorry to interrupt her. And also, I watched Deck on the start of the race. He has probably heard me from here at JC TV HQ.
Oh, that'll be a safety car.
And he has had his very, very cautious start, unlike Deck. And as you say, Mike Kelterborn out of this race. What does that mean for Decker Cornley? Can he take a drive-through under this?
He can try. I don't know if it'll let him. And he's got Gareth Hall 2 cars behind him. What a start he's made from 16th on the grid. So he'll be keeping his eye on this. I'm not entirely sure what Mike's problem is, because he's threw himself off the road there at turn 8 and then retired later on the lap. I don't know if I don't really know what was going on there. If he had any issues, or he wants to be a race engineer for someone maybe. When he's left the session, actually, something seemed a bit something seemed a bit off there with him. Not like him for that sort of thing to happen.
Yeah, not in the style that it happened. I don't know if you caught it, but he very nearly took Bazza with him, and that would have been a great shame. Bazza, I expect, will pit this lap. No, he stayed out. As you can see, he has front wing damage. That actually wasn't caused by Mike. That was caused by the incident with Dustin, which is why you see Dustin's made up one position on Mr. Baldwin.
Yeah, Michael Akeke did break his front wing, so he's coming to the pits, and as you say, I think Bazza should have done the same thing, but he's still got time. And this early safety car, like I said, this is bad news for Deck, because he would have just wanted to get this driver out of the way straight away. Longest race of the season, just, he could have had it taken and been on the back of the pack right now, but he'll have to wait. He's not lost any positions. He had a decent start. I know he jumped it, but he had to sort of stop and go again. It's not like he jumped it and disappeared, which he could have done, to be fair. Well, he might have gotten in a little bit of trouble for that, but I suppose nothing technically stopped him doing that. But yeah, it's not the end of the world. I think he would have rather have that pit stop. Jamie up to 5th, like we say. He's turned that corner on the game. He's ahead of Chris Waits, and I mean, that really... Again, I know I keep banging on about it, but bar that incident on the last race, I mean, that would have been your Championship 5, the top 5 right now. A lot of people think that should have been the Championship 5. We saw a lot of big debate at the Jackocar about this as well. But, well, Jamie's he's certainly, like I say, making a case for himself for next season. He's been here long enough, he knows what to do, and yeah, hopefully this is a springboard for him to go on and achieve great things.
Jamie Griffiths, who, just for your interest, as you mentioned it, this is 149 Cup Series starts, and of course before that he had just the 10 starts in Kia, so 159 starts all time in the league. It puts him 13th. If anything, it's just going to be even more annoying for him, knowing that he could have been here this evening, qualified P6, he got the jump on Chris Waits, and he was making a metaphorical top 5, metaphorical Championship 5, the top 5. So it'll be super frustrating for him. Not as frustrating for Deck, though, of course, who has stayed out, Owen. So I think he knows, as well as what we think we know, that you can't serve the drive-through under a safety car.
Yes, so yeah, he'll have to do that later on. Looks like OKK is catching up to the back of the pack now. So has he made a second stop on the safety car? Because I thought he already had caught up. Oh, no, he really... Okay, I guess just put him a long way behind. But shouldn't really matter. The safety car will be in at the end of this lap. You saw it briefly on your screen there. I know it's never right, but the estimated pit stop strategies on this game by AWS. I don't even know if AWS is still about in F1, but the graphics in the game, and we'll talk about it. And it said that the best options for this race would be a medium to hard or medium to hard to hard. No mention of soft compound tyres there, and it wasn't really surprising because the soft compound tyres really don't last on this game. So I wonder if we're going to see some early pit stops for the championship contenders. And for Tony Kirkpatrick, obviously he'll be able to go pretty deep into this. So yeah, it'll be fascinating to see what's going to happen here. But we are moments away from the restart here in Singapore. 4 DRS zones here, by the way. You can see them on the screen on the map on the right hand side. We've got one down towards turn 1, one down towards turn 7, and then towards 14, and where we are at 16. So plenty of opportunities actually to make overtakes, although it's a lot harder than it looks. As here we go then. R&I will just be patient. This would be a bad day to get your restart zone wrong, wouldn't it? He comes up towards the line, he's going to go as late as possible. That could get Jamie Griffiths involved. Look at Jamie Griffiths, he may well take the lead here. He's jumped a lot of them. Unless he's the lead of the race. That was perfectly legal. And he, doesn't quite get by R&I, but that was a fantastic restart from Jamie Griffiths. And a sideways moment for him now out of turn 4. And he's got Johannes coming back past him. Ben Shaw's ahead of Tony Kirkpatrick, who has not had a good restart. But remember, he'll be going a little bit deeper into the race. Here comes Ben Shaw. Can he get up the inside? Very late on the brakes. Bit of contact with Jamie Griffiths. He goes wide off the track. He'll hold position against Tony. Or at least he'll try to. Tony's going right around the outside. That'll cut back. And, well, it lasted half a lap, but he's back to where he started, Jamie. What a restart that was, though.
Well, I think he cottoned on to what Arnaud was doing before anybody else, probably before even Arnaud knew what he was doing. If you've read the thingy earlier on, what Ben Shaw puts out every week, it was 3 grid rows. And, of course, by the time Arnaud would have been on the second of that grid, of that row, sorry, Jamie Griffiths would have been on the third, so he just absolutely gunned it. And away he went. Perfectly legal, as you say. And he gave the Championship 5, or 4 of them at least, a run for their money for half a lap, so that's not too bad. Arnaud still leads the way, and because of Jamie Griffiths' involvement, there is now a gap that has formed between first and second.
I'm going to ask the question again, and I'm going to feel like an idiot as we see a lot of drivers into the pits, but that Gareth Hall bloke's looking suspiciously fast. So is it still Casper? Who knows? But down towards turn 1, he made 6 places off the start as well. We know Casper does that a lot. Maybe it is Casper. I wish they would stop just who that is fighting for second place. As we said, Tony would stay out. We knew that. The drivers around him, they're all going to go onto the hard compounded tyre. So they're going to have a lot of free space. These, 4 out of the Championship 5. Well, actually, all 5 of them except that Jackocar only has to pit again because that was a drive through. But it's nice to see the Championship 5 all together on the track anyway. Bar 1.
Deck's penalty is gone, Owen.
Well, he's taken it, that's what I'm saying. That's why he's with them.
It wasn't a drive through, it was a time penalty. Okay. Sorry. I'm with you. Don't worry. It's not like I've been here for 6 years.
Baz has had a moment. No one's around him, though, to hit him. But bit of a scare. The last thing he wants is to 1, retire from his last race, but 2, have any involvement sort of safety car wise or anything like that in this championship. Not in a negative way anyway. He wouldn't want to put a safety car out, I don't think. But he has got a bit of damage there as Baz, and he'll probably be coming back to the pits again. But yeah, Gareth Hall, that looks, I don't know. I just don't know anymore. Who's who? Because both Casper and Gareth look quite fast. So I just don't know who's who anymore. OKK on the back straight. That could be another safety car, and it is. But how has he done that on the back straight? Who's he hit to do that? That's bizarre. That's a plane crash he's had down there. Now, Arnaud, be careful. He's run over the whole front wing there of OKK, and that can puncture your car, your tyres. Deca, again, can't really take much advantage of this. I suppose it does cut out that drive-through, but he would have liked, I think, still to make it mandatory before that safety car came out, as Baza comes into the pits.
It's not good for Tony Kirkpatrick.
No.
Yeah. Is it? Sorry, I'm a little bit behind here, Owen, because I'm doing loads of other things in the background. Did Deck not pit under green flag?
Right, so he took a drive-through penalty on the green flag, so he's been in the pits, yes, but it wasn't a stop because he took the drive-through penalty.
Yes, so he has been twice, I understand.
He's been right. Oh, you don't
No,
understand. Right, he's
No, I
not.
don't understand.
Yeah, right. He has visited the pit lane once in this race, and he has driven through it without stopping because he had a drive-through penalty. So he is.
I am on board.
Yes, good. So he is yet to make any stops, let alone a mandatory one yet in this race.
It's been a long season. It hasn't. I tell you what, I hate to give Hall and Shaw credit, but it is nice to still see Jackocar breathing, alive and well, thriving, and it is even nicer to not have to have done anything over the last 17 weeks. But I said there wouldn't be the numbers to keep it going. You limited to the drivers that are books. You only got to lose 2 or 3 of them, and you're done. You can't really run a league like that, because if you then get a week where there's 4 or 5 drivers away, you've got a 12-car grid, and nobody likes that. But they, in fairness to Shaw and Hall, they have retained the drivers. They brought a couple new ones in, and they have kept the league going. Season 13 has been a success, other than Mexico in round 1. But they can be proud of what they've done, and like I say, it is fantastic to still be here on a Thursday night watching these guys fight for wins, fight for titles, and really, they all have me to thank for putting them in this position.
I knew the praise wouldn't last long. I think
You could hear it coming.
Yeah. I think there's actually quite an irony, isn't it, that the first race of the Gareth Hull, we'll just give Gareth Hull the attention for now. The first race of the Gareth Hull era was a terrible race in Mexico. Should have seen that coming, really.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And their argument back to me could be, well, I made Jackocar out of the wreckage of ILR, so without ILR, I wouldn't have been here. So, but no, credit where it's due. It has been a very good season, and we still have what's that, 24 laps of it to go. Arnaud de Grief has led 3 laps. Tony Kirkpatrick has led 3 laps, and we still have no idea who's going to be the champion.
So, as you say, Tony at the head of the field. Let us say we've got it. I just don't know. Is it Gareth and Settin, or is it Casper? For those of you who weren't here last week, basically what happened was Gareth thought it'd be a great idea to change his name to Casper Klein, and Casper Klein thought it'd be a great idea to change his name to Gareth Hull. And then shock horror, Gareth Hull was really fast and Casper Klein was really slow. It looks like the same thing's happened this week, and I can't tell if it's natural or not, and whether they've changed it back and forth again. So we're just going to ignore them until they, get involved in the race, and then we have to know who's who. So I think when the next safety car's out, I'm going to have to grill Gareth and just hope he replies. But but before that, we've got a restart.
I need to know for stat purposes. That's the thing. So they need to come clean. Anyway, green flag racing.
Yes, that's it. We actually, get some green flag racing. We've not had much of it so far. Jimmy Griffiths gave us the excitement on the last restart, but actually most of this race has been under the safety car, so it'd be a good time for these guys to get a little bit of flow into their race on this track. It is very difficult. Now, who's going to try and anticipate the start this time? This time it's Chris Waite, who has a decent start, gets past Pete Knighton, and Gareth's right up on the back of Tony into turn 1. Can you see why we need to know who this is, Gareth?
This is Casper. This is Casper.
Yeah, it has to be Casper. As we see Jordan getting past Pete Knighton as well. But I'm looking at Arnaud de Grief, who's the lead Championship 5 runner. He's just been alongside, who's that? Dustin. And then Johannes and Ben Shaw were very close to each other. But look at Decker Cornley trying to get involved, and slow on the inside there is Dustin, and Dex into the back, and there's a 3 or 4, and Baza, sad to say, has crashed out of his final race. 4 or 5 of them have destroyed their front wings as well in there. I'm slightly surprised that hasn't gone full safety car or even red, because there is
some lag.
That was Dustin just slowing down too much. I think he was trying to get out of people's way, but he ended up accidentally getting in other people's ways. So Deck has damage. Since it's it has gone full safety now. I was going to say since it's a VSC, they may have been able to get away with doing a pit stop, but now it's gone full safety. Which I think means we've already taken out 4 of our safety car slots, and it's only lap 8. You know, so they can't. You know, mandatories can't happen. They can all fix the damage and reset, but what this means, the more this happens, the more, you know, attrition we're going to get. And why I say that is because if we have another safety car after this, say on like lap 11, then you'll go the last 17 or 18 laps, and you can't have another one. And so any mistakes will be punished massively at that point. So, you know, it may be not very exciting viewing at the minute, but what, you know, the ripple this is going to have on the rest of the race it could be really vital. And look at that, Deck is staying out with a heavily damaged car because he knows he wants to make a mandatory pit stop at some point in his life, but he just hasn't had a chance to so far.
No, and nor has Tony. So at the minute, it's a championship 3. That's how I would look at it. Arnaud, the highest place of those in P6. Don't know. We've had this happen a couple of times this season where we've used up all the safety car slots and then had good races on the back of that because drivers have had to be good and they've had to be at their best. And that might be what happens here. It's very reminiscent, Owen, of that famous night in Las Vegas, which just so happened to be a Ben Shaw night under the lights. Dare I say, Ben Shaw, co-league owner, wins it on his first attempt with the rulebook in his hands. Yeah, I'm not one to start conspiracy theories, but we do love it.
I've got to say, he nearly got by Johannes. I think he was briefly ahead of him on that restart, and that would have had him as net second in the championship. So he's very much putting himself into play. But yeah, I'm just curious, really, because and this is why we've got limits on safety. We don't set the limit; Codemasters do. For situations like this, where people just cannot stop crashing for the lives of them, because you know, if we didn't have a limit on safety cars, this really could be the whole race, especially with the pressure everyone's under. So that's why we're talking about the safety cars stopping after the 5th deployment. So we had 3 full safety cars, but that current safety car we're on now started as a VSC, and we think that takes up 2 slots. Red flags, I don't know if they count on that limit. We've not really had them on long enough to test it, but they could come into play even if safety cars are out of play, and they obviously require a full grid restart.
Wouldn't that be exciting? We'll give him his moment. He's had plenty of moments throughout the last couple of weeks, but Barry Baldwin unfortunately ends his 201st Jackocar start in the wall. It is a great shame. We've lost one of the icons of the league of esports. He will be very sadly missed, as I'm sure you've heard in the build-up and seen in comments over social media in the last week. But Barry Baldwin, 11 laps led in the Cup Series with that famous victory in Monza a couple seasons ago. That is probably the highlight of his career as well. And yeah, what can you say? You know, one of the best, massively loved, sadly missed, or will be missed. Barry Baldwin, Cup Series legend, esports legend for the last decade or so.
Yes, although we'll say it, he just say see you next season. So hopefully he'll come back in some way, shape or form. But it does very much, as you say, feel like the end of an era there. But well, I sound a bit rude now. We move on with our next stats. Just when we're on about championships, I couldn't quite remember the stat I was going to bring up before, but just when we were talking about Johannes, this is where Johannes won his first ever Jackocar race back in season 11. No, that was back on the F1 2020 season, it has to be said, so it's not exactly the same cars as this, but it was his second race in the Cup Series, and for a man that loves second place a hell of a lot, he did well to win, and it was only his second race, so he knows what it's like to win round here. And I just wonder if he's got that going for his head, just 2 seasons ago. But yeah, he has got a little bit of pedigree around here.
Yep. I can list off to you all the previous Singapore race winners if you so desire.
Yes,
Mr. Wyatt.
please.
Jamie Bromley, season 1. There's a throwback name for you. And that was followed in season 2 by Arnaud de Grief. And then Matt Bode in season 3. Season 4, we did not race here. Season 5, we did not race. Season 6, we didn't race here. Season 7, guess what? We didn't race it. Season 8, who won in season 8? Owen Wyatt.
Me.
It was Owen Wyatt. Let's not forget that was a 25% race as well.
Oh no, of course.
Season 9, we didn't race it. Season 10, we didn't race it.
Jeez.
Followed by season 11, where Corey Dalton won here.
Was it not Johannes? Was Johannes not first? Maybe he was
won
first across the
Vietnam.
line.
And then Baku. Yeah, because I remember that Johannes had a penalty. It was like that first win was coming, but it never quite come. And we didn't race here last season either. So only six races in the Cup series have ever been.
Did he get like a post-race penalty that day? Do you remember? Because I'm pretty sure Johannes did cross the line first that day.
No, I do remember we were. It must have been like a 3 second or something silly like that. But I remember the first 2 races we were like, he's going to win a race. And then it finally happened in Vietnam and he went back to back, won it in Baku. And then he didn't win again that season. Before season 12 where he won Britain reverse, he won Belgium. And he didn't win again that season. And then this season he won in Hungary and hasn't won again since. Which means he's won 2 races a season, and he's yet to win his second race this season. I'll let you do the maths.
There you go. We find a good Owen in there somewhere. He knows how to cross the line first. I'll tell you that for absolute sure. He has definitely done that around here, but maybe got it taken away post race. But anyway, we've got another restart coming up. Let's see if we can get, I don't know, let's push the boat out. Let's get 2 laps of green flag racing, shall we?
You'll be lucky.
Here comes Tony Kirkpatrick. He takes his time, and again we've got a couple trying to anticipate it, and it's Sully versus Gareth into towards turn 1, and big contact as they head through. That's damage for Sully. They both actually got past Chris Waite while they were doing that, and Jordan is trying to get involved as well. But the important stuff's happening behind this, because Arnaud is going to have to try and find a way through. Johannes and Ben Shaw all in there, but Johannes, he's got a real chance here because Arnaud's tucked up right behind Jordan Lane, and Johannes will follow Arnaud through there. Ben Shaw, not quite. In fact, he's got a challenge from Casper up the inside, and Casper very much wanted to be part of this himself. He feels he should have been here, but, well, of course he does. Here comes Arnaud again, another move coming up, but Chris Waite's not playing ball. He can see the league owner and speed teammate in Ben Shaw closing right up, and this is very tight indeed. They could easily make contact at any moment here, and Arnaud, he's having to be patient, and look at that, it's Casper up the inside, massive lock-up, and he gets past Ben Shaw, and that is going to be net third place at the minute, but he wants to get right in the thick of it with his championship drivers. Here comes Arnaud up the inside of Chris Waite and nearly puts him in the wall, perfectly judged, and he's ahead. He's got a car between himself and Johannes. He's got Casper all over the back of him.
Yeah, Arnaud scampering away, and that's the best thing he could possibly do here, because Casper is looking lively, and of course he made that massive dive bomb on Ben Shaw, which is the man who replaced him in this race, would you believe? And through they come, another lap done. It's Gareth Hall, believe it or not, leading the way somehow. Arnaud de Grief third and currently in championship position.
Yeah, and if only he'd named himself correctly, we'd be able to give him the credit for it. But as far as the screen tells us, that's Casper leading the race, so oh well. But at this rate, you'll end up with the other Gareth. Well, challenging for the lead. He's on the soft compound tires, flying along, it has to be said. And I'm trying to remember if this was a mandatory stop or not, actually, for him. But don't actually know. Tony's in 17 set into clean air, so he'll be hoping to take advantage of that, naturally. As, look at this, Arnold again just stuck behind Sully, and there's a bit of contact there.
He's got away with it.
And I think he'll get the position now. He's got the line into the sling. And here comes Casper as well, trying to get involved. But Arnold, I tell you what, he's nearly been in the wall there again as we headed towards the Anderson Bridge. He is making this look very easy, but this is a very, very stressful moment for him as he opens the rear wing up. Not seen much DRS today so far. And this could well be the last time we ever see it if we never race on the 25 cars again. But here comes Arnold. This is for the lead of the race. Gareth's not going to want to make this difficult. And oh, look at that, up the inside. That was unexpected. He makes a lot of contact. He can't make it stick. Well, it looked an ambitious move, it has to be said, when he made it, and he didn't quite let it stick. Now, well, Gareth Hall / Casper Klein. It could be Gareth 1-2. It could be Casper 1-2. They're both the same person, really. But no, Arnold's going to get through and spoil that and take the lead back. And it's 2 cars between himself and Johannes. And, well, Ben Shaw, this could be him to the end of the race. We didn't mention his pit stop. But he's behind Tony in a minute. But, I mean, if he wants to win this championship, is he playing the long game here? And just hoping we get maybe one more safety car. And then from then, he knows the other drivers have to make green flag stops.
Yeah, well, you say we've not mentioned his pit stop. You took the words out of my mouth. I was waiting for you to finish, and I was going to tell you that Ben Shaw was in championship position all the way down there in what is now P9. But yeah, he's going to need something to be on his side, and Arnold scampering away once again. If Arnold can get his pit stop in, it gives the title back to the Belgian. Still a long way to go, more than half the race in fact, and Johannes has finally got past Gareth Hall. He has Casper Klein to go, and then he's on the back of the one-time champion. Of course, Johannes, along with Decker Cornley, trying to get their first Jackocar Cup Series championships. The others, Ben Shaw, Tony and Arnold, already have won. They're looking for their second.
Now, you would expect Casper to be able to get past Arnold here on these tyres, and if he does so, I wonder if he'll stick the anchors on afterwards and just try and bunch the pack up a little bit and create a little bit of chaos as he closes in on the back of the race lead. Jamie Griffiths is fighting away with Ben Harrett, who was able to muscle his way past Gareth before Gareth came into the pits. Sully followed him in. But, well, as far as Tony's concerned, fastest lap, he's heading along nicely at the moment. A safety car puts him back on terms, obviously with the guys ahead, but as you say, Jacko, it's still Ben Shaw. He'd take the biggest advantage with a safety car situation, assuming those tyres can get to the end. Even if they can't get to the end, nothing stops him pitting for another new set. He's done his mandatories now. He's free to do whatever he wants. And if we're right and there's one safety car left, then that's why this is such a big advantage for him, because he can, say that happens right now, he can get the freshest tyres on and know that everyone else around him will have to make green flag stops. A red flag change of tyres doesn't count either. So that's why he's actually in a very strong position right now.
Yeah, and just to bring you back to stats about the racing under the lights for a Championship 5, we've had 4 championships decided at night time. 2 of them were won by Jake O'Sullivan. The other 2 was won by Ben Shaw in Las Vegas, and season 9 we saw Khalifa get his second title. So Ben Shaw, one of those drivers who knows how to get it done. But as you said, Johannes hasn't won round here, has he? Arnoud's won round here in the past, many years ago, about 5.5 years. So take your pick. I'll tell you what, Owen, one thing we've not done is we haven't decided who we think is going to win this championship, and that's something we normally do.
Yeah, I feel like it's almost too late to guess, isn't it? I think
well, I would have said Arnold, put it that way.
I also would have said Arnold. But now that we're seeing the race playing out, I mean, we've not seen Ben Shaw's lap times, it has to be said, but I mean, he's running in clean air. He'd be hoping that Casper can get really ahead of Arnold and cause a bit of, chaos there. But having this clean air, the fresher tyres by 8 laps, even if he doesn't get a safety car to help him out, he should really have the undercut. His gap to the race leader is 22.8 seconds. It's a very slow pit lane speed here in Singapore, so this is looking good so far. Obviously, even if he does get the lead, then he'll have the tyre offset in the wrong direction, so that's sort of the other side of the coin here. But we've seen Jackocar in as well. He's now, hoping for that safety car too, because he's completed his pit stop strategy. I know it looks like he's miles behind in last place, but that safety car comes out, he gets the same benefit as Ben Shaw, that knowing he's done his strategy and the other three of the championship haven't. So, that's where we sit at the moment. Right now, Johannes sits on the back of Casper and he wants that second place, and he may well get it into turn one, but has to wait.
Yeah, Ben Shaw, by the way, currently sat on a 17-race winless streak, would you believe? So if he's going to get it done, it's going to be his first race win of the season. And what a way to do it. It almost gives me Jake O'Sullivan vibes from Season 5. Obviously, that was his first ever race win and a championship, but he went all season without winning, and there goes Johannes for P2. Casper on the inside, gives him room, but I think you'll find that is job done for the German. He gets past the Finn and looks ahead to the Belgian.
This will be the real test now. Has he got the pace to stick with Arnaud de Grief? Will he think about making an undercut? I know it might seem a bit silly to ask that now. You've done all the hard work and now you're going to go straight into the pits, but he can see the real-time gap to Arnaud. If he makes the undercut, it's very powerful around here. That's why we're looking at Ben Shaw. Even a one-lap undercut, it could be enough when the gap is just 2 seconds. So, interesting moments here. I think, really, any point from now, you could make that next stop and get to the end. So
it's just so worth doing, isn't it? We've seen Arnold all season stick it out for far too long and get caught out, and how many times as well is at least 4 I can account for. Get a stop in now. Johannes has a moment. Arnold goes another lap. Johannes has had enough, and Casper follows in him.
Oh, I tell you what, that was so nearly into the wall, but he kept it just about on the island. This is going to be the most important lap of Johannes' season. What's he going to put on? I'm expecting it to be the hard compound tyres. It is the hard compound tyres. But where is Ben Shaw? He's going to be coming around the final corner right now. We're riding on board with him. The Season 8 champion, the league owner, looks to his left and sees nothing there. He's in the net race lead at the minute. That gap is massive to Johannes behind. It's about 4 or 5 seconds. And that is the power of the undercut.
Massive for Ben Shaw. The championship card is in his hand. I thought OKK had retired then, but he's only left the session. The yellow flags and the safety cars stay in. But Ben Shaw on course as it stands with 13 laps to go in Singapore, and anything can happen, but as it stands he's on his way to championship number 2. Arnaud de Grief, your move is next.
And it's an undercut that we mentioned at the time. 5 laps he has on the rest of his opponents. They should be able to catch him. It's one thing catch, it's another thing pass him. But wow. And the undercut is still going as far as Ben Shaw's concerned. He'll still be going around faster than Arnaud, as will Johannes, as will Casper, who's put the medium compound tyres on. He's going to be hyper aggressive towards the end of this race. So if I'm Arnaud, you've got to pit this lap.
You've got to, and he does. Get committed, and he's safe. Championship saved, but there's work to be done. Don't speed, don't speed, don't speed. He's good. He's in the pits. A new set of hards, Owen. What do you think?
Well, it's got to be, hasn't it? I think Casper can afford to take a risk. He's not got a championship to lose, but...
Oh my goodness.
What's happened there? Sullivan Lewis is in the wall again tonight, and he's got away with it, and we've got away with no safety car. As side by side he goes with Dustin. Oh, that was nearly it. Oh, Leroy's gone. Leroy's out, and there's a safety car again. As Ben Shaw just about takes the lead, but as we said, how many times this season has Arnold lost out through situations like this? He's just about got away with it.
Wow. On the night you need to get away with it, he's got away with it.
Oh, but look at the gap. Wow. Look at the gap. It was 4 seconds. I mean, you had... I tell you what, it's a shame really for Ben Shaw. If that safety car had come 2 laps ago, he would have been in a great position. But actually, as Arnold came to the pits, he needed that not to come out. But, well, he's got the lead regardless. That's the main thing. Ben Shaw from Arnold, from Gareth, from Casper, and this is a vital safety car for him because he can save these medium compound tyres. This is
I'll
good.
tell you what, the safety car, I think you might have just said this in a different way, but the safety car has kept Arnold in front of Johannes. Because Johannes would have got him otherwise.
Yeah.
What does Ben Shaw do with a 6-second lead, though? Does he come in for mediums? Would they go to the end?
They would.
Does he-
At this stage, he'd come out. In worst case scenario, he'd come out 5th. He may even come out 4th.
Do you know what? It's almost a risk worth taking, isn't it?
Jack, I don't know. I don't know because.
Or will this time under the safety car, does that protect the hards enough to go to the end?
Yeah, it's a hard one to judge this because he is going to pit. I think he is. Okay, I guess he's done the same amount as us, so he's going to give up track position. This has to be for medium compound tires. This has to be. There's no point in doing this for another set of hards. A medium would put him into play, and interestingly, Casper's going to come in too. Will Jordan start? Jordan will start, so he'll move up to 3rd place. But this now means that Ben Shaw on these new mediums will come out in 4th. So
that's a great call.
That is it's the right thing to do because the gap was 23 seconds behind all this. So yeah, softs. Well, that's ambitious for
He's
Casper.
not gone, so. Oh, Casper.
Yeah, that's ambitious for Casper. He just wants to cause a bit of trouble, doesn't he? And he's got every right to, as long as he doesn't actually, ruin someone's race.
Owen Wyatt, I have eyes in the sky, would you believe? And I quote the message, "A little birdie told me," so I'll let you work out who that is from. But a little birdie has told a little birdie of mine that there will be rain in 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay, so that means we might catch the rain, we might not. Even if it comes, it may not be heavy enough. But well, it's never nice to know the rain's coming. But at least if you're a driver, for us, that's good news for excitement. Especially now we're out of safety car slots, I believe. So if it goes wrong now, then tough luck. Unless it goes so badly wrong that you've been at a red flag. But we don't know if that can happen. If we do get a red flag at this stage, that rain would be accelerated forward and you'd probably restart in wet conditions. So that's what that sort of means at the moment. I don't know if I want the rain to come. I think this has been poised very nicely as is.
Yeah, Tony's back in it. Deck is still mathematically in it. We've got all 5 Championship 5 drivers in the race. 3 of them in the top 4. It is poised nicely. You never rule out Tony, and if you listen to Deck's social media, he has a plan, albeit it's certainly not plan A. But they're still in the game. There is 11 laps to go. I don't know what to say, Owen. I think we could be in for another classic. There are no more safety car periods after this. Red flag possible, and I wouldn't rule that out either. Ben Shaw in the box seat? Or is Jordan going to cause him problems, or the desire for a first championship for Johannes going to cause Ben Shaw problems, or what does Arnold do? A potential last outing for Arnold. I don't believe a word of it, but what a way to go out to win a 2nd championship. So many stories to be made and to be written and to be told, and we still don't have the full chapter available for you.
So Michael KK has come back into the session. He'll be giving advice to people, I'm sure. He'll be keeping an eye on everything that's going on. I don't know who he'll be talking to, but drivers do talk to each other plenty, so he'll be feeding vital information.
That'll be Ben Harrett and Decker Cornley, that'll be.
Yeah. Decker Cornley, who's jumped Sully in the pits there. He's gone for mediums. He wants to give himself the best chance of winning this championship. And mind you, he's got a lot of gap to catch. If this safety car comes in this lap, he may not be on the back of the pack, so we'll keep an eye on this. But I think if I'm Ben Shaw at the minute, I think he is in the box seat. But what's vital is this restart. We've seen so many times tonight, anticipating the restart has been the way to go. Because everyone's going so late. So if Ben can time this correctly, he could be ahead of Jordan by turn 1. And once he's done that, he doesn't need to worry about being held up by him. I don't imagine Jordan would want to wreck anything anyway for anyone. I don't think he's that sort of driver. But Well, we'll see what happens. Let's see if the safety car stays out another lap because of Deck and Sully, because they're still 20 seconds, 24 seconds behind all this. If this stays out another lap, that obviously we're going round in 2 minutes and 15 seconds really for a lap, and it will start again. I mean, that rain that's coming soon, it will be, you know, we're not cutting laps away quick enough to avoid it.
Here's an update for you, by the way, on the drivers running. Deck, no penalties. Ben Shaw has 1 for exceeding track limits on the exit of the pit lane. Tony's on 2, Johannes is on 1.
This is warnings, isn't it?
This is warning, sorry,
yeah.
And then Arnold de Grief 0. Which means Arnold can push it that little bit more if he needs to. But Tony, he's got to be careful. And so have Ben and Johannes, to be fair.
Outside of 100% race distances, which happens very rarely in this league, I think this could well be on course to eventually end up being our longest race ever. I mean, under normal conditions, this is taking ages. So, I mean, 2 minutes 15, and we've done about 10, 12, 13 of those laps already tonight. So yeah, that is bringing that rain much closer. I mean, we're going to have 9 racing laps after this, and they're still going to go round at about 1 minute 30, 1 minute 35, something like that. So, yeah.
We're in the window.
We are very much in the window.
Mm-hmm.
I think the safety car will come in. We're all caught up now.
You know what? You've made a habit this season of taking words out of my mouth, more so than previous seasons. Because I was about to say exactly the same thing. Maybe you've lowered yourself to my levels, or maybe I've got better. I'm not sure which is which, but there it is. Confirmation a safety car is in this lap. That's the last safety car. We will see Arnold take control of the field from Johannes in P2, Jordan in P3, and of course Ben Shaw, Ben Harrett, Casper Klein on the softs, right? He is,
yes.
Everything still all to play for. Your other championship contenders are Tony Kirkpatrick in P8, Decker Cornley P14. Make your guesses now, folks, because this is going to be straight through to the end. Unless we get a red flag, who knows? Jackocar, the championship awaits for one of the 5. It's green flag racing, and it's Owen Wyatt. 11 laps to go in Singapore.
And actually, this time it's Casper that's anticipated it, and Ben Shaw was asleep on that restart completely. He's had to brake late. He's got Casper right alongside him, and Jordan involved too. Casper's ahead of Ben Harrett, and Ben Shaw, right, he'll be slightly panicking now. He's got to make this move stick, and he's done it. Up into the podium positions. He doesn't have to win this race, remember. He just has to beat his championship contenders around him. Now, here comes Casper on the back of Jordan, and he'll be up the inside and should make that stick. Of course, we could be completely wrong. Maybe we could get another safety car, but I'm pretty sure we have run out of slots, and in that case, the drivers should be aware of that too, and they'll have to drive a little bit more carefully. As we saw Tony moving up to P7, and it looks to me like Gareth struggling a little bit for pace at the moment. He's falling back ever so slightly. And Ben Harrett nearly into the back of Jordan. That's not going to be helping Tony's case. He's losing a lot of time here, and he's got to make these moves stick. Having a go through the Anderson Bridge. No doing there. And Tony... I fear watching his championship hopes slip away here at the moment. A long way to go, but he's now a long way behind. Decker Cornley making a little bit of progress. He's up to 13th, but he's got, again, as we say, just such a long way to go to get involved here. A lot of fighting ahead of him in the mid-pack as well. We've got Chris Waits and Pete Knighton going for it, and there's Sullivan Lewis involved as well. So not comfortable at all, and it's not comfortable for Ben Shaw. Moving through the last corner, and the fastest 2 drivers in this train of 4 are at the back of it, and the fastest at the very back of it. So this is very nicely poised. Moves are going to start happening.
Yeah, Ben Shaw's issue started 3 corners before that, where you mentioned he went off, and that I think he may have got another warning for it, but for now he remains penalty free. And you're absolutely right. I was wondering if Casper Klein might be better off Ben Shaw letting him through and pulling himself to the lead and to the championship, as Arnold is now having to defend from Johannes and Ben Shaw and Casper Klein, as Tony has finally made his way up to P5. So championship not over yet. And Decker Corley, by the way, he's up to P10, and there's a gaggle of free cars in front of him fighting away.
Yeah, he's doing well there to get through that traffic. And he's not a million miles away. I mean, this battle at the front could go wrong at any moment, so he'll need to be there to take advantage if it does, as Casper gets himself almost alongside Ben. Yeah, I think, Ben, you've just slowed down, let him through, surely.
Got to, surely.
I mean, I do wonder if Ben's forgotten the rules to his own league, ever so slightly. You don't have to win the race. You just have to beat the drivers around you, and I guess it's a bit counterintuitive to let a driver pass you on purpose, but he was rear locking there for Casper. That was really into the side of Ben. This is just not helping Ben at all. He's not got any chance to make an attack. But, well, he's holding position for now. Arnoud's holding the lead superbly. And Deck up into P9. He's still moving. He's on the back of Sullivan Lewis as well. Who they've both come through the pack together, essentially, on this restart. But for Arnoud, I mean, if he's to win this race and win this championship, what pressure to do it under. He is proving his worth absolutely at the moment as he heads through and survives another DRS zone. Does he? No! He's got Johannes just having a little look. I didn't think he was close enough to go for the move. I think he just wanted to scare his rival. But unflappable. He got my attention, but absolutely unflappable is Arnold at the front, and that's why we're in the commentary box and he's in the car.
Oh yes. I think our racing careers are more than over, aren't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, Johannes remains P2 for now, where he's been ever since he joined Jackocar. That's what it feels like. As Arnold completes another sector, and Ben Shaw completes another half spin. Casper Klein on his outside. Does he go for it? No, he slots back into the inside. Up the inside, maybe. No. And he waits. The only thing I will say is these two, they are just about keeping pace with the two in front, aren't they? So they're not losing as much as they normally would, and that's because they're on that, both of them, softer compounds in the front too. Lap 25 here in Singapore, about to become lap 26. Johannes brushes the wall.
Casper's starting to slide a little bit now on his rears. We saw that a little bit on the last lap, but that was particularly bad for the chicane this time. This is good news for Ben. With every lap he survives, the more he can focus ahead of him, because Casper will become less and less of a nuisance every lap in theory. Casper possibly holding out for that rain. It would need to come down pretty heavily though to make any difference. Here comes Johannes again on the DRS. He had to go outside this time. He gives it a go. Space has been left, but I don't think Arnold's going to let him through that easily. And Johannes has to just slot back in. He's given it a go, but Arnold's playing by the rules. And holding his advantage is wide there, because Johannes thought that was in the wall for a moment. Ben Shaw, you've really got to start doing something. But it is difficult. Obviously, on balance, he's not as fast as the two ahead, as he has a big moment coming over the Anderson Bridge. On balance, he's not as fast as these two ahead, so as opposed to being asked to overtake him is a bit of a difficult task. At what point are we going to ask the question, should he have stayed out? I'm sure he'll be asking himself the question if it doesn't work out for him tonight. He'll still have 5 laps after this, but this isn't looking good at the moment. But let's see what happens. He's still got Casper behind him, but he's very much just got to look ahead now.
Yeah, and Casper is doing a good job at keeping Tony 4 seconds behind him. So at the minute, it is one of these 4 who's going to be the race winner, and it's one of the front 3 that's going to be the champion. Deck up to P8, doing a very good job, it must be said, but it might be too little too late for the man with orange hair. Turns 1, 2 and 3 successfully completed again by the front 4. Casper continues to slide and fall away, and Ben Shaw, as Owen White said, can start to look forward and dream of a second title. Johannes, he's just recuperating some energy to have another attack on Arnoud. Now, when we played the game in Saudi Arabia, I forget the name of it, Johannes was caught out for being that little bit too aggressive. That was me and you, Owen. However, it's good practice, because he may need to bring some of that argy-bargy into play to get in front of the Belgian to win his first championship.
Yes, he was a very...
Of course, 4 laps to go.
He was a very good traitor that night, wasn't he?
Traitor, that's the word.
Was Johannes. But yeah, the thing for him is that as much as he's saving energy, well, Arnold will be able to tell when he's saving energy because he'll look at his rearview mirror, as we are right now, and say, well, he's not catching me. And as you've seen on this lap, Arnold just saved nearly a whole tank of ERS. So, you know, anything Johannes can do, Arnold can copy, and it's doing enough at the minute to keep him in the lead of the championship. And we're heading towards the last 4 laps now. Still no sign of any rain. If it was to make any major difference, it needs to sort of start falling now. They won't change the intermediates, not at any stage now. Even if it does tip it down, I think they'll just prefer to stay out. But it's about how slippery the track and how slow the track gets. That's what will cause problems. But at the minute, it's still staying dry, and it's all about making the move stick on the road. Let's see if Johannes does anything this time out of 5. Hits the wall. Won't have done damage with that, but you can see he's pushing. ERS active, DRS active. You've got to throw it at the inside here. Down the inside goes Johannes. He makes a lot of contact there and has Arnold into the wall. He's got damage in the front right end plate. He's still going to fight this out though. And the season 10 champion, season 11 I should say, has had a massive slide, and he's good luck, stewards. That's all I'm going to say. But that's Arnold in a massive amount of trouble now.
Yeah, it's like he made the contact, Johannes, but then lost control of the car and went back into Arnold de Grief there. And of course, one of the stewards was sat right behind it, Ben Shaw.
I mean,
so
we were on board live with Johannes for that. It wasn't egregiously bad. I mean, I don't know if Arnold had the contact and maybe overcorrected. I don't think Johannes has hit sent him into the wall. That's sort of what I'm trying to get across.
It's not his style. It's not his style at all. I don't think there's anything in that as Arnold locks up. And by the way, lap 28 is going to leave us with 3 laps to go, and this is the first lap that Johannes has led all evening, and he's got a 4/10 of a second lead over Arnold de Grief. Still hunting title number 2. Oh, we're going to get a new champion tonight. There was a 40% chance of it coming into this race, and
Arnold's
at the
still
minute
here.
it's looking good. Arnold's still very much there, and of course DRS, and there's no DRS. Yes, there is DRS, isn't there? DRS and ERS. I was thinking of 2026 regulations. He's going to have another go here, Owen Wyatt.
Mr. Aggressive goes to the inside!
Oh,
what a move that is! He gets himself in, he's hit the... Oh, look at that! He's put Johannes just about as far as he went on the last lap. Oh, he's gone wide and loses out. I don't think he can throw himself up the inside of 9. But Arnold, well, I gotta say, Mr. Aggressive, we haven't seen it for a while, but it's always been in there. Oh, that was close. When's Ben going to get involved in this?
He's watching, isn't he? He is watching and he is waiting. Casper's still there in for the race win. By the way, Tony Kirkpatrick in the last lap. He's found a second. No wonder. But yeah, Arnold, as you say, still there. Still looking for another go. Does that rain come along at any point this evening? Does Johannes have the bottle to keep the lead as we're looking at 2 and a little bit laps to go?
He's going to go again. Arnold outside at the moment into the next chicane, and Johannes, I tell you what, it is...
Rain!
Right, the rain's coming down, and Arnold and Johannes have thrown caution to the wind here. They are absolutely just going at each other. And
it's a classic.
It's exactly what you want to see in Jackocar. It's exactly what the league was made for. It's the exact sort of thing that Sean Hall been waiting for all season. And we're getting it here at the conclusion of this championship. Ben Shaw will be loving what he's watching, but he'd love to be involved in it. He's not got much time left to get himself a championship. Mind you, if the Frontier keep driving themselves off the road, they could well get themselves some penalties. We'll keep an eye on it. This time Arnold wasn't as close to Johannes, and so Johannes, he's got a bit of a moment to breathe here.
Just a moment. And Ben Shaw, who's not been a factor in terms of race wins all season, is eyeing up the potential to strike when these two have another collision. And trust me, folks, it is coming. A lap and a half to go in Singapore. The lights and the streets are alive to the sound of Jackocar Joy. A little half spin for Ben Shaw just before the hairpin, but he's still involved. Casper, by the way, has dropped back, and yeah, his race is done. And also, look at Oh, sorry, I am looking at Casper. Tony Kirkpatrick has actually got through and is chasing this pack down.
Yeah, I was watching Casper, he let him through, and he's been struggling a lot for pace. Arnold nearly binned it, Johannes nearly binned it. The grip's already quite low out there, Jacko, as we head towards the final corners.
Absolutely. And, well, Season 13, the first of the Hall and Shaw era. It's been a classic, this Championship 5, and it's 1 lap to go in Singapore. Johannes in the hunt for his first Cup Series title. He's chased by the great Belgian, Arnoud de Grief, and Ben Shaw. Has he had his say? It wasn't enough of a say as he starts to drop away, but Arnoud, does he have enough left in him one more attack on the German? Here we go then, Owen Wyatt down the back straight.
He's closing Arnoud de Grief. Where's he going to go, inside or outside? Johannes stays to the middle and then goes inside. Here's Arnoud de Grief. He cuts across. Has he broke late enough to get to the corner? Not quite. Here comes Johannes back at him. And he's going to hold the lead up the inside. Arnoud's hitting the wall. I don't believe it. Oh, and Ben Shaw's going to win the championship. Yes!
That's unbelievable. You've never seen anything quite like that. One of the most experienced drivers in the league. Arnoud de Grief has thrown it all away in the rain, and Ben Shaw, he's going to do it on the big stage, Owen. He's going to win his second championship. Can he keep it on the road? His nearest challenger is Johannes. He's 4 seconds behind. Like I said just now, it's been a winless season for Ben Shaw. It's been 17 races searching for a victory. It's been nearly 3 years without a championship, but he's got half a lap to go as the man from St Helens in England.
The rain is still coming down, and Johannes is fighting away with no front wing, so he's not going to be able to do anything. Tony is too far behind. The gap's almost 5 seconds. And for Ben Shaw, he's already starting to celebrate. He knows he's got this in the bag. He just has to survive the next few corners. And, well, he bided his time. He looked like he was losing pace. And frankly, out of nowhere, Ben Shaw is going to come through. And once again under the lights, Ben Shaw is the Jackocar Cup Series champion. He's a 2-time champion. The Sean Hall era has started in perfect style for Ben Shaw. What an ending. It's a shame to see, obviously, the accident at the front. I mean, it's not what Arnoud wanted to have happen. He went for it. He may have lost his head at the end. But you know what? It was good racing. Johannes, he fought very well. 3rd place. He'll be disappointed, but he gave it his all there. And Tony, I tell you what, only 3.5 seconds off in the end. He wasn't far off. And Johannes, let's say 3rd. He did get up to 4th in the end.
That's unbelievable.
But it wasn't quite enough. It's probably still his best Jackocar finish. At least it's right up there with his best. So he gave it his all tonight. And Arnoud, well, he doesn't... I mean, do you know what? He was half a lap away from completing the greatest season ever. But he's fallen at the very last hurdle. I don't think we've ever seen anyone bin it like that on the last lap. Not to the point of DNFing and taking a rival out. I mean, that takes Casper's capitulation in Vegas, which also gave Ben Shaw the title. And it just trumps it by quite some way.
Yeah, yet again, Owen Wyatt taking words out of my mouth under the lights as he did 3 years ago in Las Vegas. Ben Shaw wins it on the final lap with a huge margin of victory. It doesn't matter. All season, no wins. He saved the best fill last. And Ben Shaw, put that number 2 next to your name. He joins the likes of Khalifa and Jamie Wright, an icon of Jackocar.
Just going to say it straight away, Arnoud's gone straight into the chat and apologised to Johannes for what happened there at the end. So, and Johannes, he's accepted the apology straight away. So, do you know what? Fair play to them. They've come straight away and, yeah. No bad blood.
Fair play. That's what we love to see. That means they will be back next season. And so will Ben Shaw, your 2-time champion. What a way. What a way to finish it all.
And Ben Shaw, with all the chaos going on around him, he's managed to do a whole victory lap. And he's crossed the line again to celebrate. So, what a way to end the season. It was such a dull start to the season. And then the last 3 races have just been absolutely insane. And Arnoud's kind of all the quotes here. He's, when 2 dogs fight for a bone, the 3rd one takes it. There you go. Someone write that one somewhere nice. Get that on a billboard. But yeah, I'm not sure Ben himself will quite be able to leave his hand. I mean, obviously we have seen it before in the past where drivers have been winless all season and come through at the very end to take it. And Tony goes the whole playoff campaign and the Championship 5 without taking a race victory. He will be disappointed with that. He'll want to come back next season and show he is, show he's got the pace to win another title. He certainly looked like he did, the regular season champion, but he's runner-up today. We'll run you through the order. Ben wins the race, wins the championship, then Tony second, Johannes third, and Deck fourth. Chris Waits was fifth, then Ben Harrett, Jimmy Griffiths. Robin Border, who's delighted with P8 from 19th on the grid. Pete Knight in ninth place, and then Jordan 10th. Dustin, Casper, Gareth, and then the rest, basically.
Yeah, by the way, just to give it a bit of formality, that is the 15th career win for Ben Shaw, would you believe? Only 15 as well. Arguably, probably, I always talk about, favourite moments in Jackocar. I say that night in Vegas is one of my favourites. I think that night in Singapore might be another new favourite. Classic moment for Ben Shaw. And do you know what, Owen? The best bit of all of this, Jackocar is 21-0, no back-to-back champions.
Yeah, and there was never really a danger of it, was there, tonight? So, yeah. I just wonder how long the streak will go on for. I mean, the further we get on with this, the harder that streak's going to be to keep going. But, yeah, we pretty much just have to wait and see what happens. We'll be back during the summer because we've got the summer series coming up. I think that'll be 5 or 6 races. We're basically doing that because it's so long between now and F1 26 coming up potentially that we're going to do something in the meanwhile. I suppose we could do like another season on 25, but I think we want to do the next season at the end of the summer on 26. So obviously being at the start of May, we've got quite a lot of time to fill. So between now and then, you'll see us a few times over the summer. But yeah. I suppose we probably can close this by calling corruption. I mean, never really occurred to me. That seemed very race fixy, didn't it? Actually. Our league owners have started to suggest that themselves. That's why.
It's funny that I hand the keys over, and within one season, one of the new owners has a championship, another championship to their names as well. It always used to be a bit of a thing that whenever I was lead commentator, when you were away for certain things, it would normally be Ben Shaw that goes on and wins the race, and that's exactly what happened in Las Vegas. But Ben Shaw now running the league, winning races and championships. Questions must be asked. However, the good news for Ben Shaw, and I think he'll like this one, is that obviously that's 8 Championship 5 appearances, and he's converted 2 of them, so it's a 20% record. It looks a little bit better than what would it have been? 12.5%, something like that it was prior to tonight.
Well then, I think that'll be us then, because my voice is about... Oh, okay, maybe not then.
One more thing. It doesn't really need to be said, but I feel like this one in Singapore makes up for the loss in Miami that Ben Shaw had all those years ago. When he lost it because of the rain?
Well, yeah, to Kieran Spears, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to, seeing his reaction to it. He seems relatively happy. Let's say, it said that in the Championship 5 show that there'd be some sort of post-race thing. I'm curious to see if they're actually going to do anything. But as far as we're concerned, I think we are done for the evening. And my voice is done because I just spent the last 2 laps screaming my head off. And I've got to preserve the old voice. So I think we'll leave it there. Thank you again, Jacko. It's been another successful season.
No, thank you, Owen. I enjoyed that. Take Mexico out of it.
Yeah.
It's actually been very, very good, and I look forward to season 14, which, as we all know, even number seasons generally are better. So in the run-up to Christmas, I look forward to that, and another season with you and I at the helm of this wonderful, crazy league.
Yes. And, basically, until, I reckon, end of August... basically enjoy your summer, enjoy the World Cup, enjoy everything. We may see you once or twice over the summer for this summer series, but in terms of the Cup series, in terms of Thursday Night Thunder, that is us for a while. So we will see you do it all over again, season 14. Be there. Safe travels. Congratulations, Ben Shaw, once again. And, cheerio.